Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is a place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is the day that we get to talk to Terry Johnson online, all the way from New York City. We are so glad to have her in the house to help us with our digital marketing strategies. Hey, if you need someone to coach you through this maze, you need to talk to Terry. She'll fix it for you. Okay. With that, we're going to get this party started. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups. I want to give a shout out to my partner and friend, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. We're giving a shout out to everybody. Are we in the clubhouse this morning?
No, I haven't done the clubhouse in a few weeks. So maybe I'll go back, or maybe I'll do Twitter Spaces. I don't know, but we're not there right now.
Okay, so we're going to give a shout out to everybody watching live and on the replay. And if you get a chance, we may actually download some audio to podcast. With that, we're going to get started. Hey, how you doing this morning, TJ?
I'm doing great. What was that about a podcast?
You know, we BizChicks has a podcast, so we may take the audio over there and load it up. But nevertheless, you guys know where to find us.
Yes, know where to find us. Definitely. All right. So, did you intro me? I was so busy clicking and
I introduced you as our digital marketing strategist.
Sorry, guys. I'm in the back room, in the back room, clicking on things and bringing up my notes and pulling the shades down. We're doing.
Believe me, I understand. It's a lot.
And I got so if you see, if you see my hair, I got my fan going because it's summertime, so you need to cool off. All right. So today's topic is the change in online strategy. And I know that sounds kind of mysterious. It does. Because what do you mean online strategy? Wow. So we're gonna do a little basic run through, and then as always I do a part 2, a second chat on Terry Johnson online where we go into more details, and if I got charts and graphs, I pull them up. But the change in online strategy means that things are changing, and we're used to change now because we had the pandemic, because it's the fourth wave. I can't believe we're saying that.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I'm only mentioning it because we're in a world of change, so that means that you're used to change.
Yes,
if you have it by now. I don't know what you've been doing.
Yeah,
we've been changing a whole lot.
Yes, it has, and it's required a lot of pivoting.
Yes, a lot of pivoting, a lot of change, a lot of doing things differently. So here we're going to talk about doing things differently with your online strategy. And that's what I talk about. In the marketing chat every week, I talk about marketing strategies to help you, grow your business online. So if we're talking about strategy, I need to tell you what's changing, and I've seen this change for a while. I didn't have a name for it.
Okay.
But now we have a name for it. And it's not new. I've done some research. I've seen some other marketing websites talk about this since back like 2015. But it's called demand generation strategy. Now, don't let that scare you. It sounds hard and it sounds like a lot, but it's really simple because I've been talking to you about this in the last maybe year and a half or so. It's okay. I'm going to give you the definition because I always do. Okay. So, and let me get my notes. Demand generation content is about targeting customers who could benefit from knowing about your product and service and bring them to the awareness level of your funnel. Basically, it is you're creating a whole system of demand for your business using social media, email marketing, all the tools that we've been talking about. So, it's like crazy. When I saw this, I was like, okay, this is what I've been doing. I didn't have a name for it. And it's going into what I'm going to call revenue-driven marketing. And I've been talking about this in a fashion. Let me tell you, because I've been saying that as business owners, you're on the business owner track. You're not on the influencer track. What I mean is that a lot of information, especially about Instagram, how to grow your Instagram, how to do this and that, is all being geared toward influencers. Influencers want something different from a business owner. Influencers want brand deals from a business, from a corporation. Well, we don't, well, kind of we want that, but we have our own business. As small business owners, you have your own business where you're selling goods and services, your products and services to people. So that's not your path. Right? So I've been trying to think of a name for it, and I was like, okay, we're doing social media to get sales, to get money in the bank, right? That's why we're here. And when social media first started, it was about what you had for lunch, and for excuse me, what you have for lunch, what you're wearing, selfies, and now it's TikTok and silly teenagers, not silly teenagers doing silly dances and doing silly things. Well, that's the influencer track. We're not influencers like that. There's a whole influencer marketing, influencer world where they want brand deals from Nike, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and large corp. We don't want that. We want you to look at what we have, see if it fits your needs. If it's the answer to your problem is the solution, come on over here and buy it from my website, my store, my Shopify, whatever system you got in place to do that. So this is what it is. Demand generation marketing or demand generation strategy is the whole system of doing that. It's about awareness of your business, your brand, nurturing your audience, and guiding them along the customer journey path to being customers, to actually making a sale. And I have been saying that in some form or fashion, right? Because I'm in Charlie, and you can tell me if I'm right, because I feel like that's what I've been saying, just not in a structured strategy like calling it this.
Exactly. You've been talking about this for several years. We've been talking about this. When did I think I started in 2017 doing live sales. Before people had live sales, I would go into my Facebook every Thursday and we do a live sale for California cover-ups.
Right.
And then when they figured out that we were working around the process, they decided, oh, let us give them this so that we can sell this to them as a package and make some revenue from it, the different websites. But yeah, you were talking to us about this all the time.
Right. So, but I mean, I was talking about it because that's what I felt from my knowledge and experience that was going to happen. I've been saying for a while that posting online on social media, just generic content, is not going to cut it, because that doesn't. It's the whole fishing analogy. You have to put the right bait in to get the fish that you want, right?
Yes.
So demand generation strategy is that the goal here is to drive qualified leads. That means you're talking to people and you're getting people that are interested in your product or service, and you can sell to them through strategic digital marketing initiatives. Now that's how it is online, but what I'm saying is you're simply creating a demand and getting in front of your ideal customers and getting them to buy what they need. Trying to push on that. That's really what it is. And I was just so happy when I saw this. I was like, oh my God, there's a name for it. Because I was just saying, well, you got to get your target audience. You got to get the attraction. You got to build the relationship with different tools. I always say email marketing is that communication tool that you can use that is stable. It's the wired telephone, not the cell phone. And remember when we all had wired phones in our house?
You mean landlines?
Yeah, landlines. Remember, we had that. That was stable. So email is that. That's one of the tools that you use to communicate and build a relationship where you're not selling one thing and you say bye-bye. You're nurturing the relationship so you can have them continue to come to you over and over. Because why? Because the cost of getting a new customer is so much higher than keeping the one that you have. And we've said that before too. I think there's a number out somewhere. I
There
can't.
is a number, but I don't
Right.
recall what it
Yeah,
is.
there's a number. It's more expensive to get a new customer than to keep the one that you have, and you're continuing to nurture that relationship to where they stay with you and they buy more products from you whenever you develop new products and services that fit their need. Okay. So that's really what it is. I mean, because social media has been, how long have we been using it? 2007 and up. Well, I have, because I was on Twitter, but it didn't really get in the mainstream until like 2010, 2011, 2012, where people were like, oh, well, follow us on Facebook. Does anybody say that anymore? Follow us on Facebook. Well,
no,
you really have to say that now, because it's not 2010 when nobody knows about Twitter.
most people will ask you, do you have a Facebook page or do you
Right.
have a website?
We're not in that role anymore. Where businesses, you should know, social media is your way to garner attention, grow an audience, build a relationship that turns them into a customer. You should know that by now. There may be some businesses that don't know, but the majority do know that that's where people are hanging out. So we're not in that world where I have to convince you to be on social media. I mean, I might have to convince you to use TikTok, but I don't have to convince you to get a Facebook page or a Facebook group or whatever, because it's established. So now we're moving into the part of this demand generation system where your content has to be spectacular. It has to be attention getting. It has to hit the mark, hit the target, so to speak. And you have to do those things where you're not just putting out just generic stuff that doesn't attract anybody, or you're buying bots because you're buying followers because, well, I'm supposed to have so many followers. We're not in that role anymore with social media. We evolved to where now you have to tell the customer that they have to be satisfied. They have to be happy. Hey, Tachi's here. And I have one stat that I'm going to bring up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. But this is according to a Meaningful Brands report by a company called Havas. It says 90% of consumers expect brands to deliver content, but 58% of consumers think the content that comes from brands is irrelevant or isn't meaningful. And that says a lot. So that was a 2019 study. They've updated for 2020. I'm going to get the new numbers.
You know what is very irritating to me is being bombarded. I mean, I cannot.
That's another part of it. That's another part of not knowing your customer and what.
I cannot delete this stuff fast enough. I can't keep it.
Because somebody is following a generic playbook from 2010 or 2012 or whenever we did those strategies of just put out content. I've never said just put out content. I said put out meaningful, relevant content.
Yes.
Because it needs to connect to your audience, because you don't want to, like Terralina said, you don't want to annoy them with overwhelming content. That's not what the idea is. And this is why I say it's work, because you got to study your audience. You got to know your customer. You have to know, you get into that business persona where you fill out the form of this is your ideal customer. You do that because you don't want everybody. Everybody's not your customer. No. Let's please stop saying that, because I still hear that people are like, well, my business and everybody's my customer. 18 to 80 men, women. That doesn't fly anymore, because that's not you think that's going to catch, or it's like a tuna net. You think that's going to catch all the tuna, but you can't handle all the tuna. You need a specific fish. So that's why I was saying about fishing. There are different baits for each type of
yes,
fish.
there
right?
are.
Yeah, you don't just put a worm on a hook. You don't know what you're going to get. If you're going fly fishing, there's a specific bait for that. If you're going trout fishing or whatever, that's because you want the trout, you want the salmon, you want whatever specific fish that you want. So there's more work involved.
There are different lures for different fish.
Yes, because you don't want every other kind of fish. And people say everybody's my customer. It's 2021. Stop saying that. You must be a niche. You need a niche target, and it seems like it's small. Well, that's only going to get me a couple thousand people. What's wrong with that? You want millions to follow behind a big brand or a big celebrity, or if I don't have 100,000 followers, something's wrong with me. No, there's something called micro influencers now, and we're not, I'm not talking about influencers, but I'm just saying that there's a small group of people that they follow one person. And here's an example. It just came to me. I follow a lady on Instagram that she does knitting, Black lady, that she talks about knitting and things. And her handle is something Gigi Knit. I'll get it later. I'll put it in. But her influence is small, but her circle of followers is small. I think it's let me check real quick while we doing that, because I want to get it right. I think it's Gigi. Yes, got it. It's Gigi, the letter G. Gigi made it. And a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at it, she's got more followers. She didn't have this many. She has 52,000 followers now. She didn't have this many before the last time I checked when I followed her. She is she called herself the iconic orange lady because orange is her signature color. She's the knitter and the blogger, and she called herself the goddess of orange. But she talks about knitting, and all her photos are orange and knitting. And trust me, she had a smaller window influencer. Yeah, she had a smaller audience. So I'm like happy to see that she's got 52,000. But what she's doing is she has a knitting community that follow her and respond to her and look at her posts. So if she hasn't already, she could get a brand deal with, whoever makes the yarn or something involved with knitting.
Or maybe Michael's or somebody who sells
Michael's, or I'm not sure because I haven't seen her post for a while, but her engagement levels are high. She does a video. She's got like 7,000 views on her video. This is 6 days ago. So she's got some stuff going on. But I love her content because she talks about knitting. She uses a signature color. It's a small group of people that follow her, but they're engaged. If she was to get a brand deal with Michael's or a knitting manufacturer or whatever, they would go and buy whatever she talked about because she's not selling it. She's not saying, hey, guys, go to Michael's or go here. She's just doing her stuff. She's doing her thing, like knitting. All her things are knitting.
But people are going to ask her where she got the supplies. Where'd you get that yarn?
Right. How did you do this? How did you do that? I see she's doing something. She's knitting something in a heart shape. So people would want to find out, well, how do you knit something in a heart shape?
What's the pattern for that? Yeah.
What's the pattern? So, and also she's not doing this to say this is my business. She's doing it to say, this is what I like. Just I
love doing this, and here it is.
Right, but I'm just using her as an example of someone who's a micro influencer, or she might be a macro influencer now. She got 50,000 followers, but she has a dedicated core group of followers that listen to her, follow her posts, watch her views. If she tells them to go somewhere, call to action, they will go. And that's what you want. So you want that. And I know she's an influencer because I said we weren't talking about influencer. We were talking about the small business part of it. So this demand generation part of it is that you have a system in place to where you get the awareness, you get the attention, because I always said that was first. You build the audience of dedicated people who want to hear from you, follow you wherever you are. You tell them to do this, to do that. Your call to action, they do it. You build a community, and then you say, hey, I'm offering this product. I'm offering this service that you guys might want. Here it is over here. Go to my website, go to whatever, your call to action, because you have to direct them, and they go and they buy. In the story, it's a simple line, but there's so much work involved with each piece. So the awareness, building an audience, talking to them, the communication tool that you use, the call to action. What do you say when you get them over here? What do you say? What do you do? So once you get all that system in place, it becomes a factory, so to speak, where you know what to say to them. So you say it and you post it. They know what to do. They know where to go. They go and do it. And then you have a satisfied customer. Rinse and repeat. That's really it. So it's called demand generation strategy. So I was really happy to find it because I hadn't come across it before. And I, as always, I said when I, marketing, I try to make it simple. Excuse me. So they've got all of these marketing terms and strategies and this and that. And I'm like, okay, we need to make it plain. It's just simply the system you put in place. And you know about lead generation. This is not lead generation, but lead generation is a part of it. Lead generation is where you have the landing page, you have a page and you say, hey, I have this, sign up or buy. That's lead generation. But that's a part of demand generation, because the demand generation is where you build up the beginning. Like I said, the awareness, the attraction, the attention, and then you give them your message, and then you tell them where to go. And it hopefully, if all of those things meet up with your audience, they buy. That's it, simply.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's really about getting your customer in front of you, getting your company or your business. Excuse me, getting your business or your company in front of your ideal customer. And we've been talking about this, and I've been going around and saying pieces here, pieces there. But then when I saw that it had a label, I was like, okay, I got to bring you the label. But we've been talking about it for a while. So you should be familiar with these pieces. But it's really like the pieces of a puzzle that you put together, and you get the whole, you get the whole view. So I'm really happy to see that.
Wow.
So
this is a way for us to sum up what's going on. I like it. I like the fact that it's digestible in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. So and we're going to talk more about it. Excuse me. I put terryjohnsononline.live at the bottom. That's where you can go. And I have a page on my website where you can see the video. You can decide where you want to watch. There's options to watch.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, good. You found it. Okay. So you can, go to BizChicks Facebook page. There's a post there. Also in the BizChicks Facebook group, there's a post there. You must click it to go into the video. Because if you make a comment on that post, I won't see it. But if you come into the video and make a comment or ask a question, then I'll be able to see it, because I know that we've had some people that said, well, how do I get to it? And I said, well, you got to click on the post on the BizChicks Facebook page or the Facebook group.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
All righty, guys. So you are going to be on your Facebook page at 8:30?
Yes.
Okay.
8:30 Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern.
All right, guys. So you want to follow TJ over there. She's going to be starting in less than 5 minutes. So you have time to take a break, get your coffee, and get ready to learn more about demand generation marketing strategies.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, TJ. We love you. We know that you have to interrupt your day because you already started over there in New York City.
Yeah.
We're just getting up. So we thank you for all that you do. And we want to say to you guys, don't forget, go to the front of your own line and tune in to TJ's Facebook page.
Yeah, join us.
All right, with that, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks again, TJ.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
See you.